serving multiple life sentences, accused the disgraced mogul of drugging and raping him at a party in 1997. Cardello Smith says in 97 he was a bartender at a Detroit area restaurant when he met Diddy and was invited to a gathering at the Holiday Inn where Combs would be partying. He alleges that he participated in group sex with several women and Diddy, but when Diddy showed interest in him, he got up and sat on the couch. According to the complaint, when Cardello Smith went to get another drink, Combs handed him a drink, thought to be a glass of Jim Beam. But when he sat down in the other room and drank more, he began to get drowsy and started to pass out. Combs allegedly said to him, I added a little something to it for you. And then Cardello Smith passed out. He claims when he woke up, Combs told him he had penetrated him while he was unconscious. Cardello Smith says he ran into the bathroom and checked himself, noticing he was bleeding and in pain, and left the hotel and never went back. Cardello Smith claims he filed a police report, then he shut down and knew he was never going to be able to tell anyone about what happened. In his complaint, Cardello Smith alleges Combs paid off Detroit and Monroe police officers to keep the police report hidden for many decades. In August of 2024, Cardello Smith made a stunning claim that Diddy came to the Michigan prison in person to offer him more than $2 million, essentially to keep him quiet and dismiss the lawsuit. On August 7th, while appearing virtually in front of a judge and presenting himself in the matter, the Michigan inmate filed a motion for a temporary restraining order against the disgraced producer.
Can y'all hear me now? Okay. So, were you able to hear the audio of what was going on with the Diddy lawsuit? The audio that I was just playing for you, were you able to hear that? Got you. Thank you very much, Amanda. So, let me explain the context of what's going on here, and then we have to get into Dawn, because now Dawn, after all this time, after she sat and watched what Aubrey said, after all this time, she's now come out and said that Diddy sexually abused her, also showed abuse in other ways. Also abused Cassie in front of her, Kim Porter in front of her, called women ugly and fat in front of her. Yeah, he called he probably called her coworker fat. I mean, he probably called her coworker ugly, but and then she said also touched her inappropriate. All we need now is for Aubrey O'Day, who has constantly said all this time that she never slept with Diddy. Watch Aubrey O'Day now come back and change her story and say he did touch her. I'm looking for that to happen next. After she's been saying for 15 years, I never slept with Diddy. That's why he was mad. Exactly. She was on his album. She was on the Love album. But now, since you see that everybody's coming out and everybody's grabbing a bag, she's going to give it. That's why I said I'm not going to be surprised if Aubrey O'Day comes and changes her story and says, yes, I did sleep with Diddy. And because I wouldn't sleep with him again is why he kicked me out of the show. Because I didn't want to, I threatened to say something, or I didn't want to deal with sleeping with him anymore. But this guy here, who is a former inmate, and let me just tell you something, he has a hell of a jail record. He's already been arrested, accused, or jailed for sexual assault and several other charges. He's in jail right now. Right? He's in jail right now, serving 75 years. So you got to take what this dude says with a grain of salt. Diddy lawyers have come out and said, Mariah Carey, they don't know you. I don't know you. Yes, Marla, this is the dude that we just heard him say that he was working as a bartender in Detroit, right? He was working as a bartender in Detroit. He said in 1997, Diddy, he was partying and having group sex with a bunch of girls and Diddy. He said he took a drink. Of course, since Cassie mentioned the spiked drinks, they're going to all come with the same story. Oh, I got a drink and then I started feeling dizzy. He said, oh, I added a little something to that. The same thing he said to Cassie. Except he said it to Cassie, 8, 9 years later. So he said the same thing to this guy. Oh, I added a little something. Then he says, when the guy woke up, Diddy told him, oh, just to let you know, I penetrated you when you were unconscious. Now, if somebody did that, they're going to tell you they did that. So he was just that bold and cocky that when this guy woke up from being unconscious, as he's allegedly, Diddy said, oh, by the way, I just want you to know I fucked you while you were unconscious. Like, come on, dude. Come on, bro. So Diddy is he's that cocky that he's going to tell you, oh, by the way, while you were unconscious, I fucked you. Really, bruh? And how, and then Diddy came, of course, he has to throw in, oh, he paid off Detroit, and way back then, Diddy wasn't even that big then. He wasn't that big yet. 97 the year that Big died. 97 the year Big died. He wasn't even that big yet. That he would be able to pay off the police force in Detroit? Diddy in 97. Let me see what's if they're able to do that. What was P. Diddy's net worth in 1997? In 1997, Puffy was worth $7.6 million. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. $7.6 million in 1997, and he was able to pay off the Detroit police? Stop it. He didn't have money like that in 1997. He didn't have status like that in 1997. His status only reached 40 million at 2001. The Cash App is $ Heaven Hollywood. Milton says, i.e., the case will be dismissed. Just want to see. I believe that case will be dismissed as well. Number one, this guy's talking from a jail cell. Number two, here's a very, and Milton brings up a good point. This guy also said, right? This guy also said that Puffy came to the jail in person. Well, all we have to do is go back to whenever in 1997 or whatever, and Puffy was in jail, right? If Puffy came to that jail to see him after saying he don't know him, well, there you go. That will clearly right there. That will clearly right there say, that would tell a tale right there. Puffy says he don't know him. So there should be a tape. There should be a tape going into jail. But now you notice how he threw out there, yeah, he paid off so-and-so. So then what he's going to say is, oh, I'm sure he paid off the jail. I'm sure he paid the jail off to get rid of the tape. Because he said, didn't he say this year? Didn't he say this year Puffy came there and offered him $2 million for it to go away? You gonna tell me your money hungry behind said no? I don't buy it. I don't buy it. But you're talking about, oh, you know, your reputation. You're scared he's not gonna get the. He's scared that he's gonna sell everything, so he doesn't have to give him his money. But then $2.1 million you turned down. Well, all they have to do is find the tape, and if they find a tape of Diddy coming to visit this guy, case closed. Remember, they tape all those conversations. They tape those conversations. When someone else comes to visit you, they want to make sure you're not trying to plan to escape. They tape all those conversations that you have with a person. If everybody heard that, please put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me right now. Let me know if y'all can hear me. Great. What's up, Lily? What's up, Charnay? So listen, guys. I mean, again, we all know what Diddy's up against. We all know that it's now cool to sue Diddy. Let's go and try to get a bag. They might as well just make a class action lawsuit at this point. At this point, why don't y'all just do a class action lawsuit and say we all got molested, we all got assaulted by Diddy sexually or physically abused, and you do that, I'll jump on the lawsuit too. How about that? I believe that is. I believe that's going to get thrown. But as soon as we thought we were done, now here comes Dawn Richard, former member of Danity Kane. And she is now coming out and saying she was also abused physically and sexually by Sean Puffy Combs. All right. Now, if you don't know, um, she was recently on Diddy's Love album, right? She was recently on the Diddy Love album. Let me see. Art of. Let me go to this. Art of Dialogue. Go to their channel. We're going to tap in and see what exactly you're saying about this new breaking news. Like, this is unbelievable. It never stops. Look what Cassie done started. So here we go. Here we go. You'll be able to see that, right? So now, after all this time, she was just down with him, the Love album. You can't say you were scared to come out. Then you were just with him on the Love album. That was just what, last year, 2023. Right? So why wasn't you saying, oh hell no, I'll never work with you again? Why weren't you saying that then? I mean, this is nuts. Hold on. Because my internet is tripping again. So here we go. She becomes the eighth person to sue Sean Puffy Combs. Former Danity Kane member Dawn Richard, and this has to. Sorry about that, guys, but I don't know what's wrong. Why this is just spinning. Right? Former Danity Kane member Dawn Richard has sued Sean Puffy Combs, alleging the music mogul groped her on numerous occasions, was physically violent with women, trapped her into a locked car for 2 hours as a form of punishment, and threatened her life. Rashad, who was also in the group Diddy, Dirty Money, alongside Combs and singer Kalina Harper, filed suit on Tuesday in the Southern District of New York. They always go into that Southern District of New York because they know that's the toughest. Oh my God. Southern District of New York. She has sued former Bad Boy Entertainment CEO Harv Pierre as well, who is facing 2 sexual assault lawsuits stemming from his time working for Combs. From the time Rashad met Combs while auditioning for his hit MTV series Making the Band. Oh my goodness. Her music career with Combs abruptly ended in 2012. She claims in her lawsuit, obtained by Rolling Stone, the music executive manipulated her with mantras that submission to his depraved demands was necessary for career advancement, instilling in her the belief that such abuse and exploitation were required for female artists to succeed in the music industry. So, what she's trying to do is make it seem as though Diddy, like what she's trying to do is to make it seem as though Diddy had so much influence over her that he made her believe that in order to succeed in the music industry, this is what female artists need to do. Right? She then says her filing details dozens of disturbing encounters that she observed while in Combs' orbit, including drug-fueled parties with young women. You see what she's doing with young women or underage women who seemed lethargic or passed out. So everybody was just passed out. So everybody at this party was just seemed like they were all passed out, except for you, Dawn, I guess. While Combs and his friends performed sexual acts on them. So Dawn, you were just walking around watching passed out women have sex performed on them by Puffy. Now your career has been over. How come you never said anything and you got on his album as recent as 2 years ago? Combs' attention turned towards her between 2009 and 2011. Rashad alleges in the suit when he barged into her changing room and groped her bare buttocks, in an attempt to touch her breasts. So he just busts in. Busts into your room and goes right for your bare ass and tries to grope your titties with everybody around. Rashad also supported allegations that Combs' ex-girlfriend, singer, you don't need to co-sign Cassie. Cassie's already been proven that's right. Don't none of y'all need to come in and co-sign Cassie, trying to use her to enhance your lawsuit chances. You're hoping that Cassie comes out and now endorses you or co-signs what you're saying. Combs' ex-girlfriend Cassie Ventura leveled against Combs in her sex trafficking and abuse lawsuit, which was filed in November. Combs reached a private settlement with Ventura one day after it was filed. Rashad claimed she personally observed Combs choke and strangle Ventura and once saw him throw a scalding hot pan of eggs at Ventura before dragging her up the stairs of his Los Angeles home around 2005. Rashad claims that she observed the mother of Combs' children Kim Porter, who is no longer with us, so she can't confirm or deny it. The mother of Combs' children, Kim Porter, emerged crying from Combs' recording studio with visible facial injuries, including a lacerated lip. Hey, Couture. Thank you for tuning in, baby. I miss talking to you. There were several times Rashad claims that she tried to intervene and encourage Ventura to leave. Oh, so wait a minute. So you tried to encourage her to leave, but you stayed. You stayed. Dawn, excuse my French. Dawn Rashad, you're a motherfucking liar. I'm sorry. So you tried to encourage her to say, to leave, but you said, don't worry, girl. I'll hold on the fort. I'll take one for the team for you. You need to leave. Don't do like me and stay. What? Encourage Ventura to leave the relationship only for Combs to find out. He found out threatening that he makes N-words go missing. Who does Puffy make go missing? Who has turned up missing after dealing with Puffy? I don't never see nobody turn up missing. Who did he make go missing? I make N-words go missing and I end people. The lawsuit alleges reps for Combs and Pierre did not immediately reply to requests for comment. Rashad's lawsuit comes 10 months after Ventura making her the seventh woman in addition to one man who have since come forward to sue Combs with allegations ranging from sex trafficking to sexual assault. Combs has denied any wrongdoing in each case. Rashad said in the suit that Ventura's bravery made her realize, here we go. Oh, Cassie's bravery made her realize that her own personal suffering was tied to many years of abuse by McCombs that had become normalized for her. Stop it. This is what, and then people get mad at me and say, oh, you're defending an abuser. This is ridiculous. So it took Cassie last year. Dawn, you're pushing 40. It took you the last year to realize, hey, I should come out. It took Cassie's bravery. Why? Because she won? What about the other girls? Are they brave? They haven't won a settlement yet, though. Combs' fall for grace began with Ventura's lawsuit, where she claimed to, okay, blah, blah, blah. We see all that. In May, again, Dawn Rashad was just on his album. She was just on his album. Just on his album, on the Love album. Took pictures with him and all that. And during the time that Cassie came out and the time that Aubrey O'Day came out and said something, Dawn never said a peep. Dawn never said a peep when Aubrey O'Day just recently came out. This is ridiculous. So now she's suing. What they're trying to do is just financially break Diddy. He's never going to get out of these lawsuits. So if I was Diddy, if he thinks that he could just sit in a lawsuit and just deny everything and just ignore it and this, that, and the third, because he probably knows he don't got the money anyway. After all of these lawsuits are gone through, Diddy probably won't have a pot to piss in or a window to throw it out of. It's not like he's still making money. So they're going to break all his financial streams. And unless he had just $300 million saved up, which I seriously doubt, he's going to be in trouble. You heard that Russell Simmons said, I'm barely rich, but I'm not rich like that in America because my wife took all my money. I mean, my God, all this time. So who's coming next? Andrea? She ain't got no money. She's broke. Is Andrea coming next? Is D Woods coming after that? Is Aubrey O'Day? Because she's the most known one out of Danity Kane. Is Aubrey O'Day going to come back and say, I lied all this time because I was embarrassed to admit that I slept with him? But he sexually assaulted me and drugged me? I'm shocked Aubrey O'Day hasn't come out and said that yet. This is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. I'm sorry. I don't believe Dawn, and I don't believe the guy in jail. I just don't. The only person that I believe is Gina, the first one that came out long before Cassie. Except she went to Tasha K. She didn't press charges. I believed her. Right? I believed her. I believed Cassie. Gina's stories was very similar to what Cassie had on that lawsuit, except Gina came out a long time ago. Right? These other people, I think they're taking pieces of Cassie's, putting it with theirs to try to put more mustard on the hot dog, to dress it up better. So people will say, yep, it sounds like Diddy. Go ask Cassie. She said the same thing. Right? But we're going to wait and see. We want to see if September ends without some sort of arrest. I mean, it seems like an arrest is inevitable, but it seems like they're having problems finding something to stick. That's what it seems like. Now, let's go over and go through. So y'all let me know down in the comments if you believe these two people, put a 1 in the chat. If you don't believe these two people, put a 2 in the chat. Or if you believe one of them but not the other, put a 3 in the chat. Thank you, Reese. The Cash App is $ Heaven Hollywood. While y'all are we're going to go on. Now, the big thing is, and here's the guy that says that Diddy was having sex with him. This is the guy. Diddy was having sex with him. Okay. Now, is Jay-Z to blame? That has been the thing. That has been the thing. Is it Jay-Z to blame? Is Jay-Z to blame? First, we're going to go over this. All right. Let's talk about, we're going to talk about a lot of subjects. Let's talk about Tyrese. Poor Tyrese. Right? So we're going to say, is Tyrese being treated unfairly? Tyrese. Here's what's going on with Tyrese via TMZ. Tyrese was arrested at an courthouse for support and needs to pay $73,000, which includes $7,500 for his ex-wife Samantha's attorney fees. Tyrese was arrested for not paying the $10K a month child support ordered by the court. He appeared in Fulton County Court on Monday, and the judge, frustrated by Tyrese's refusal to pay since April 2023, had him placed in handcuffs. Tyrese is now working to pay the full amount to get out of custody. So I'm going to assume this Negro is still in jail. Wow. So Tyrese, who's going around all these platforms talking, right? But here's the deal, and let's just be honest. Tyrese's time is up. Now, I know he's still got the Fast and Furious. Whenever that comes out, whatever, how many years it takes for it to come out, he's getting paid by the franchise. In my opinion, Tyrese is not making that amount of money anymore. And he wants to try to play like he still has it the way he used to, or he's not struggling, or what have you. And now it's come back to bite him. He needs to have thrown himself on the merchant court and said, listen, I only make such and such and such and such. I don't got it like that no more. Because if he let them know that and it wasn't true, they have to know his salary before they start setting up amounts. And if Tyrese wasn't making that amount, they would never set him up with the payment. For some reason, they believe that he was able to afford $10K a month. And when you haven't paid it since 2023, but you've had a movie come out since then, they're going to say, I know you got paid more than $70K to make that film. Why didn't you pay your child support? Okay, so that's good to know. So Marla said he had been saying that. If I was Tyrese, I'd be up there like Allen Iverson was in court. I can't even afford to buy a cheeseburger. Remember Allen Iverson went to court and told the judge, I can't afford to buy a cheeseburger. I ain't gonna lie to you. Yeah, I'm Allen Iverson, and I was making a whole lot of money when I was still in the league, but I ain't in the league no more. I can't even afford to buy a cheeseburger. If I was Tyrese, that's what I'd be saying. So he has to pay this money before he is released. That, oh man, that's sad. And the fact that he hasn't come up with the money yet, where are your friends, dude? Where are your friends? You don't have any Hollywood friends? Ain't Tyler Perry cool with you? See, this is why you have to stay cool with people and not burn bridges like Monique. Oh, he is out. He paid it. He's out. Okay. Well, why in the hell is this thing saying he ain't out? No friends. This is what people are gonna have to realize, man. You ain't got no friends when it comes to Hollywood. So just put a 1 in the chat if you feel as though Tyrese is being treated unfairly. Put a 2 in the chat and say good for him if you don't think he's being treated unfairly, and say, oh, he's got karma coming because he was playing around. He didn't make no payments since 2023. So that's just karma. When trouble comes, your friends are ghosts. You're absolutely right. When trouble comes, Reese, they are Mari Hardwick. Ghost. People, I start using it. I'm a Amari his ass. Ghost. Mr. Smith said he got what he deserved. So put a 2. Put a 2, Mr. Smith. Put a 1 if you think Tyrese is being unfairly judged or unfairly treated unfairly. What's next on the docket? What Reese said, number 2. Y'all just tired of Tyrese, huh? Y'all tired of Tyrese. Okay. I understand y'all are tired of Tyrese. Let's see what we got next. This whole Super Bowl thing is long, so I'm gonna probably go into that last because there's a lot of different layers to it. Seems like everybody is just so concerned about getting Diddy. Okay. Now, there's been multiple reports that come out since we're on to the Super Bowl. Multiple reports have come out that Drake turned down the Super Bowl 3 other times. Now, why this is news like right now, I have no idea. Because this whole thing about the Super Bowl is about Lil Wayne, right? It's not about Drake doing the Super Bowl. It's about whether Lil Wayne should do the Super Bowl or not. So I don't know why, even if Drake did, which I don't believe it, I believe it's cap. But here's the NFL podcaster, Via Mall from Rory Mall, who is a Drake groupie. Drake allegedly turned down performing at the Super Bowl halftime show multiple times. Multiple times. Again, why that would mean something right now, I have no idea. I heard she had the baby, and I haven't seen her online, so I'm going to assume that's true. Excel, I just talked about Danity Kane. I just talked about Dawn. You're late, sis. I might circle back at the end of the show, but you may have to just go back. But Marla, I believe she's had a baby because since rumors are having a baby, she has not been seen online. You know she's always online. So let's just say Drake was offered the Super Bowl times before. Okay, who cares? I like Drake, but who cares? What does that have to do with anything? It's okay. It's okay, Miss Jackson. What does Drake? Oh, Drake was offered that multiple times before, and he didn't do it. Okay, cool. That still ain't gonna put Lil Wayne on stage. Let's see here. I believe it's just a plot to that are trying to make them seem like, oh, Drake, like Kendrick Lamar, he's just taking Drake's leftover because they asked Drake to do it. That. I don't mean to insult my bar. That is such a Barb move. Every single time one of the other girls get a good endorsement, the Barbs say, "Oh, they asked Nicki, but she turned it down." Or they asked Nicki, but she didn't have time. So these girls are just getting what they couldn't get Nicki, so they went to them. Knock it off. That is such a Barb move. Drake fans putting out there that Drake turned down the Super Bowl. Okay, well, Kendrick's doing the Super Bowl. Kendrick's like, okay, good, you turned it down, but I'm not going to turn it down. And watch me turn it up. Right? Watch me turn up. Oh, yeah, we definitely know that, Darius. We know she won't hesitate to clock him. All right, so, hold on. I believe this is Maul saying this from Rory and Maul.
Drake. The reason why, because again, Kendrick is one of the ones that eventually would have had a halftime. So now the sticky part.
Why is this sticky, Maul?
Part about all of this is Drake has been offered this Super Bowl show for some years now and has turned it down. Probably 4 years he's been offered to perform at Super Bowl.
Now 4 years?
Said no for whatever reason. Whatever reason, he just didn't.
Did he tell you that, or is that like a known thing?
I didn't know that.
I've never heard that either.
What? The who?
Drake.
Oh yeah.
Said no.
Oh. Never.
Well, he has. Drake has turned down the Super Bowl a few years.
Why do you
And you know this how?
think he's turned it down? Because that's really
I don't know.
interesting to me.
I don't know why he would turn it down. I mean, you know, that's up to the artist. You know, their discretion. Maybe I'm on the road right now. I don't want to, like, you know.
No.
Whatever reason,
Want to be able to give it the proper.
Whatever
time.
reason it may be. It may
No.
be a conflict. When you talking about artists that are that big, it could be a conflict of interest somewhere, partnerships here, there. Like, you know, it is what it is.
No, I don't know. No,
the reason why, because
I don't know what it is.
Kendrick is one of the ones that eventually.
Hold on. Shut up, Maul. Shut up. Let me tell you something, Maul. I'm sorry. I love Drake. That's cap. I'm sorry, that's cap. That's cap. Don't give me this stuff. So now Drake has been offered the Super Bowl 4 times, but no one's ever heard of it. Whenever anyone else gets offered the Super Bowl, or whenever someone gets turned down for Super Bowl, you always hear about it. I have never heard one time that people offered Drake to do the Super Bowl and he turned it down. And you want me to believe this happened 4 times? 4 times? 4 times more. Conflict of interest? What conflict of interest? What conflict of interest? Jay-Z's running the halftime show. Maybe if that happened, I'll tell you why he turned it down. Probably because Jay-Z's running the halftime show. Now, this happened to be, but you can't even use that as an excuse, because if he's been offered it 4 times, I think Jay-Z's only been in charge about 4 years. If I'm not mistaken, Jay-Z took over the year it was J-Lo. I think Jay-Z's first one, wasn't it J-Lo and Shakira? Wasn't that Jay-Z's first Rock Nation's first Super Bowl? J-Lo and Shakira? So he's only been doing it about 4 years. So you mean to tell me before that, before Jay-Z took over, or Rock Nation took over, he got offered the Super Bowl 4 times, and he's turned it down all 4 times. Knock it off. Knock it off. If y'all can hear me, put a 1 in the chat. I mean, I just find it hard to believe, man, that during the Super Bowl, and they come to you and they say, and especially, and then going to put it in his rhymes, big as the Super Bowl. And knowing what type of power he has in the industry. Well, he has. Why? Did Drake tell you that, Mo? How would you know that, bruh? Was you talking to Drake and he said, "Oh, all right, guy, I was offered that 4 times already." Like, I refuse to believe it, man. Like, my God, stop all this. Drake is still the most streamed rapper in the world. He's been the most streamed rapper every single month this year, including the month he was in the beef. Let that be enough. All you don't have to have us keep believing that Drake is bigger than Kendrick. All you gotta do is go by that. Here it is. Kendrick had a beef where he consensus say he beat Drake. Had the biggest song of his career. But now you feel as though you still have to lie to make Drake feel as though he's bigger than Kendrick. Definitely have to confirm it to me as well. I don't believe that. I'm sorry. Yeah, Drake would have to confirm that for me too. This is crazy. So, we're going to do the banner here. Did Drake really turn down the Super Bowl? I don't know whether y'all have that cap emoji. I don't know whether y'all have that cap emoji, but if y'all have the cap emoji and you believe this is cap, put that cap emoji in the chat. If you believe that Drake turned down the Super Bowl, put a 1 in the chat. Cammy, people have been saying that for 6 years. So I could care less. Why they would think I would need to run a blog. First of all, that's a successful blog. So if anything, I would be keeping my own name on it. I run a page with my own name. So if I was running the blog, which is a monetized blog, right? Why would I need to put someone else's name on it when I've had websites in the past? That wouldn't make sense. Again, they've been saying this forever. Don't know why they're saying it. Don't really care. They know that I put G on. They know that her first job in the industry was pretty much a plug for me. So they can say what they want. The people who's been on this blog for years, they know the truth. The people who aren't even on the blog, they shouldn't even worry about it. What do they care? IG is a free platform. So why should they care? Okay, so back to this cap. So Laurie, do you believe that Drake was offered the Super Bowl? I don't believe Drake turned down that Super Bowl. I don't believe he was offered the Super Bowl. There may have been talks about, hey, can you you think you'd be interested in the Super Bowl? You know what I mean? There might be things like that. They may have had some sort of discussion. What's up, Miss Fields? There might be some sort of discussion. There may have been a discussion about, hey, what would you think? Do you think you'd ever want to do the Super Bowl? Like they had the same discussion with Lil Wayne. You think you might ever want to do the Super Bowl? Right? And my whole thing about that is, again, who cares? Like, if Drake was offered the Super Bowl and he turned it down, who cares? That still has nothing to do with why Lil Wayne's not performing. And I think that's just Drake fans. And don't get me wrong, I love Drake. But I think that's Drake fans just trying to find another way to say, see, he's still better than Kendrick. He could have did the Super Bowl a long time ago, but he didn't. He didn't want to. Okay. If he didn't want to, mind your business. It's not about Drake. It's about Drake. So, of course, all of the main talk is still about Nicki Minaj. Now, said something 2 days ago. She didn't say anything on today. I see Elliot try to notion like, hey, Nicki may have got a phone call or something because he said, oh, Nika don't have Wi-Fi today. But if she got a phone call, she would have took that down by now. So let's go over once again, because we didn't get a chance to break it down completely. And I'll explain to you in these chats, right? Because a lot of people they didn't understand some of the things she was saying in these tweets. I'll be able to tell you why she said them. All right. Now, there has been a lot of people. There was more people going against Nicki Minaj than supporting her, but there were a lot. And you know the Drake fans are going to support her. There were a lot supporting Nicki Minaj. But people are going back to Jay-Z and they're saying, if Jay-Z hated Lil Wayne, why would he pay his taxes? It was a $40 million tax debt that Lil Wayne and baby, where were you? Nicki, where were you? Drake, where were you? When he had this tax debt and he was $14 million in the hole. Nicki, you, Drake, and Baby got $14 million between the three of you. Why didn't y'all all put in for the GOAT? And say, oh no, I can't allow Lil Wayne to go to jail over taxes, so let's all put in and pay for him. Right? Okay, but Cammy, here's the deal. You don't got to accept it. You don't have to accept it. Jay likes to have people in his pocket to humble them. You don't have to accept it. He could have said, no, thanks a lot, big dog, but nah. I'm going to get this on my own. Joe B said, they are not that close. Joe Button said, who isn't that close? Joe Button said, who's not that close? Lori. They probably did help. We don't know that. No, Darius, I'm talking about that tax debt. That tax debt, they did not help. That was Jay-Z. Or else Wayne already said who will help with that tax debt. The 14 million, he said Jay-Z, Swizz Beatz. He said Swizz Beatz helped because he was letting him get on songs when he didn't have the money. Nicki, Wayne, and Drake. Well, how would Joe Budden know? Joe Budden always swears he knows something, but what I've come to know about Joe Budden is the more and more he's been out of the industry, the less and less he knows. Right? The more and more he's out of the industry, the less and less he knows. Nicki always said, Wayne, all I see is Drake giving Wayne props, always talk about, I will lay down, I'll take a bullet. He basically said, I'll take a bullet for this man. I'll put somebody down for this man. That's what Drake has said out of his own mouth. There's going to be times when you have been together for so long, there's going to be times where you're going to argue, where you're going to fight, and maybe at that time they may be like, you know what, I ain't effing with them. Well, Wayne said, and so has Nicki Minaj, said they will never turn on Wayne. You know what I mean? So he said, this is the thing about Joe Budden, though, Lori. Joe Budden swore up and down to us that there was a tape that he, somebody who saw the tape of that pretty much exonerated Tory Lanez. And he said, that's the reason why so many celebrities are unfollowing Megan Thee Stallion. Because they know what happened. But when that court case comes up, the tape is going to come out and Tory's going to be exonerated. That court case came up and ain't no lawyer out of tape. Trust me, if there was a tape that existed, that lawyer would have brought that up and Tory Lanez would have walked out of jail. So Joe Budden, to me, ended his credibility when he swore up and down for months that the tape existed. For months. We're going on 3 years and no tape have come out. For months. Now, are they going through something behind the scenes? Probably. Everybody goes through something. Everybody goes through something. And does Joe know something? Does Joe know some of the things in the industry? Yeah, because he was in the music industry. And he knows a lot of the artists. He knows a few executives. But I refuse to believe that he is that close to Nicki Minaj because he's not close to Drake and he's not close to Wayne. So how else would he know that? Unless Nicki Minaj told him. And I'm sorry, Nicki Minaj is not telling Joe Budden anything about Lil Wayne. The rest of the people he's close with, they're not even close with Nicki. I'm sorry, I don't believe him. Right? I don't believe him. So I'm not talking about you, Lori. I don't believe Joe Budden. Sorry. Let's go over to Nicki Minaj. Hold on. Jay-Z or a lot of people say, and if I can find the clip from Azalea Banks, I would play it. But a lot of people feel as though Nicki Minaj is not doing this because she cares about Lil Wayne. And she's not doing this because she feels as though Lil Wayne's getting jerked. A lot of people feel as though she's doing this because she does not like Roc Nation, and Roc Nation is pushing Megan Thee Stallion as the new it girl in rap. And Nicki feels as though Megan is not better than her. She feels Megan is being forced to try to force her out, to try to push her out. And that's the reason why she's doing it. Now, Nicki Minaj didn't say that, but that is the narrative being pushed online a lot. Is that she is just jealous of Megan. So she's using Jay-Z for a moment because she really wants to throw shots at Roc Nation and Megan. That's the narrative being pushed by a lot of people. And they state, oh, she doesn't care anything about Lil Wayne. She's just doing that because she wants to be down with Roc Nation, and she's mad because Megan's down with Roc Nation. If you remember, Azalea Banks had a video out a few months ago, or maybe it was last year. And she said, oh, Nicki be low-key on Jayz. And then she went to go in, proceed to go in to say why it's not about Jay-Z, it's about Megan. But I want to show you this clip. Everybody tries to go, but what these Gen Zs try to do is go, oh, this is why they don't like so-and-so. But this is a clip way back in 1997 when Birdman came up and said, Jay-Z ain't the number one rapper. Wayne's the number one rapper. Wayne is way better, and Wayne make more money. To me, the one who make more money, one who make the most money.
When you hear people's gripe against me, it's always about what I didn't do for them. They don't say I did anything to them. They said I didn't do something for them.
That's what we've been saying about him not coming on the show.
I see that type of thing.
No, but
this is what Jay-Z was saying years ago. One thing about Jay-Z is he says a lot of stuff before it even happens. And his comment there was, most people that have their gripes with me, it's about something that I'm not doing for them, not something that I did to them. Right? So people are complaining about Kendrick, and they believe that Roc Nation is behind that. You know, like they believe Roc Nation might. So Roc Nation is like the new Kardashians. Remember when it used to, when the weatherman said it was a sunny day, and then it would rain out of nowhere, and it will ruin your plans, and then you'll be stuck in the house, and then the Kardashians come on, and people would like blame the Kardashians for the bad weather. Like, oh, Chris probably paid off God. So we'd be stuck in the house to watch that train wreck of a show. I turned on my TV and it was on Hulu. I don't even watch Hulu. My TV automatically turned to Hulu because the Kardashians were on. It wasn't even supposed to rain. And out of nowhere it rained. What's up, Sexy 60? Out of nowhere it rained. And all of a sudden, I'm watching these Kardashians. Kris Jenner paid, the devil works hard, but Kris Jenner works harder. Kris Jenner paid off Jesus for him to make it rain today. So we would be stuck watching the Kardashians. So Rock Nation is now taking over for the Kardashians and to blame them for everything. So a lot of people believe that Rock Nation is the reason that Kendrick is performing over Lil Wayne. Some people saying, oh, because he's jealous of Wayne. And like I said, he paid Wayne's taxes. I don't know why he'd be jealous of Wayne. I simply believe that it is Jay-Z I have this in my members only video, so I'm wondering, should I say it? I probably shouldn't say it. So I'm getting ready to drop that video right after this live. But Jay-Z's not, first of all, it's already been debunked that Jay-Z picks the guests or picks the performers. He can give his advice on who he thinks should be the performer. Like I'm sure he did with Wayne. He probably said, I think Wayne should be the performer. It's in New Orleans, blah, 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 blah. And then they say, okay, we're going to run it past the hosting city, and we'll see if they agree that it should be Wayne. Because according to the documents, Jay-Z and Rock Nation, they can give advice. They can give advice. So why are they paying $20 million for this NFL deal? He doesn't have any say. Well, they're paying him $20 million to produce the show, right? But for instance, I was producing porn, right? I was a producer in the adult entertainment world, right? But I didn't pick who starred in the movies. I didn't pick that. And if they had somebody that I really didn't want to work with, I couldn't tell them I'm not working with this person, being the producer of the movie. They paid him to put it together, meaning he has to get the sponsors, he has to hire the crew, he has to pick the the time of the show. He has to produce the show. Black Diamond, I can explain that. So that's what a producer does. And it did say, they said that he will give advice and suggestions. And that's the key word. Advise. When you go to an advisor, right? And they say, I advise you to just go to trial. Or I advise you to take the settlement and not go to trial. You can take their advice if you want. But Jay-Z and Rock Nation giving advice to the NFL, that don't mean the NFL has to take their advice. According to the documents, the hosting city makes the final decision. So if Jay-Z said, yeah, I think Lil Wayne, and if I have to have a backup, I'd say Kendrick Lamar, and I'll say whoever, whatever. He was like, that's my advice, that's my suggestion. If they say, okay, we take your suggestion, we take it in the hand or whatever. But then at the end of the day, they say, we're going to ask the hosting city. It's Lil Wayne, Kendrick Lamar, and so. We're going to go to the hosting city and ask what they think. If the hosting city says, we want Kendrick Lamar, then that's it. Right? That's basically it. All right, Shanti. I got to start doing these lives when y'all ain't at work. Right? I'm gonna move them to like when they used to be like 8 p.m. I'm gonna start moving all my lives to 8 p.m. Eastern, so y'all be home. Now I'm not saying that he doesn't pick them. I'm not saying he doesn't pick them, but I'm saying I believe he has some sort of say, but I'm not gonna say he has the final say. But a lot of people are now starting to come to Jay-Z's defense. And they're saying, oh, Nicki's mad because she fell out of Beyonce's good graces. She's mad because Jay-Z chose Megan. For her to say one N-word took a knee and the other took a bag, got the world still spiteful and evil. Your hatred for Drake and Nicki got you punishing Wayne. So she didn't say your hatred for Wayne, your hatred for Nicki and Drake. Well, we all know why he will probably have animosity for Drake, because of all the things that went down, all the subliminal shots, all of the things that went down with Tidal. So yeah, he probably have animosity for Drake. Maybe his animosity for Nicki stemmed from her being online the past few months and taking personal shots at him on the internet. So maybe it stemmed from there. I've never known any tension between the two. I've never heard or known anything about Jay-Z trying to get with Nicki or Nicki trying to get with Jay-Z. I've never heard any of that. Here's the article. Lil Wayne once had $14 million in tax debt. Jay-Z came through. That man helped me with my taxes. Right? But then when they're talking about Birdman, they say here, and this is a good point, Birdman extorted Wayne for years, talking about respect. Drake effed his girl. Now let's go to that, because I'm tired of that narrative too. People don't even read or try to understand. Drake did not fuck Lil Wayne's girl. Okay? Drake fucked a girl who later on became Wayne's girl. That is what really happened. That's what really happened. And Drake did not tell Lil Wayne until he was locked up. But Tammy Torres is the girl. Tammy Torres slept with Drake before she met and got into a relationship with Lil Wayne. So I don't know why people are running around creating this narrative like, oh, when Lil Wayne went to jail, Drake fucked his girl. That is not what happened. That's not what happened. He had already smashed Tammy Torres. But he just didn't let Wayne know until Wayne was locked up because he noticed that Wayne was getting serious with the girl. And Wayne just told, I just think you need to know this because this is your girl or whatever. You're making him your girl, but I smashed a couple of years ago. So that's what happened. Tired of that narrative now. Nicki using this morally righteous argument to promote her tour and partnerships while married to a literal R word. I'm not going to repeat that. Jay's paid bro's taxes off and he's somehow the devil. Jay-Z hates black people. He stabbed his own brother over drugs and sold his own mother crack. Sold out hip-hop for whitey approval years ago. How did Jay-Z sell out hip-hop? Married Beyonce to disguise as a family man he married way long ago. And then cheated on her because he only loves himself. He is a snake. Jay-Z hates black people, but yet Wayne, who is a black man, he paid his tax. Don't understand it, but okay. Nicki Minaj called Jay a house N-word when she defended Ben Shapiro and Lil Wayne endorsed Donald Trump. Is the wildest thing on the internet today. Wow. Nicki said, I tried to tell y'all, but y'all wanted a brunch. Y'all wanted brunch. I don't know whether Nicki said anything else about it today. I don't know. I don't know if she said anything else about it. But we'll see if she responds today about this subject. We'll catch up the rest up on members only in videos. It's Cash, it's $ Heaven Hollywood. Y'all know I got to get in and get out. $ Heaven Hollywood. Thank y'all for spending this time with me. I'm going to start making my streams later so we can go later. So I agree. Pick my kid up. We can go later and longer, and there'll be more people involved. But thank y'all, man, as always, for coming through.